Hey, beautiful faces, welcome back to Let's Talk About It with Sunny Mo. Today we're unpacking a shocking twist in the Charlie Kirk shooting. They found his killer. I'm sure you've been seeing all of the updates and all of the videos on social media, and as well as the not so accurate news. Um, it's turned out the suspect isn't who many were quick to blame, which was the radical left that was spewed by Nancy Mace, a Republican, that was spewed by Peter Pumpkin Eater, your cosplay president that's sitting in this fake house they call the White House. It turns out the killer was identified as Tyler Robinson, an extreme conservative. He is a registered Republican. His family, they're registered Republicans. The dad is a pastor Republican who's also a gun enthusiast. They have their background is Republican. As we say in the Gen X generation, point blank, period. Point blank, period. Okay? Um, but instead of just facing that reality that Republicans was pointing the fingers at the Democrats, even the governor of Utah said that he prayed for 33 hours and hoping that it was not one of their own. He was hoping that it was someone that drove into Utah from another state, and hoping that the person who drove into Utah from another state would have been a person of color, whether they were black, Latin, Mexican, trans, queer, whatever, but not a white Christian Republican, a white person from Utah. That was not what his prayers was answered. It was not answered. God did not answer those prayers so that they could scapegoat the fact that their own shot Charlie Kirk and killed him. Okay? So all of this is unfolding, and now his supporters are threatening to kill black people, where they were threatening, still is, to be honest, because black people are not showing any empathy online because of his death. They're not showing empathy for someone who constantly and repeatedly and continuously to talk bad about black people in every video, in on every platform. So they're upset with black people because they're not showing empathy. And black people don't have anything to do with any of this tragedy. And honestly, black people don't even know who he is. Black people just found out, majority of black people just found out who Charlie Kirk was. However, I spoke with my sister, who's very political, and I asked her the day he got killed. Well, I asked her the day it was reported that he was shot. So they didn't come back to say that he passed. I asked her, I said, you heard? I say, did you hear that Charlie Kirk got shot? And she said, who? I said, Charlie Kirk. And she said, who is that? So I explained to her who he was. He was a podcaster, very extremist, conservative, but Republican, who was all up Peter Pumpkin Eater's booty tang, was an aide to Ted Cruz, and then crossed over and started being an aide to Peter Pumpkin Eater Jr., and then started branching off and doing his own commentator and so-called political commentating on his YouTube and social media platforms, things of that nature. And everything that he spewed was all propaganda, speaking about DEI, black people, Juneteenth, MLK, black people dumb, black women dumb, we kill each other too much, just obnoxious things about black people, about women, whether the women are black or white. It's just women, black, white, Asian, whatever the ethnicity of a woman is. He talked bad about women. That's why I say I don't understand women who marry men like this. Either they marry men like this because that's who they are and they agree with it, or they marry men like this because maybe they are looking for a come up. I don't know. But a lot of black people don't know who this man is. They know now. So let's talk about what this really means about the hate that continues to divide America and why we keep circling back to violence instead of truth. After they go and call all the HBCUs, threatening black folks, threatening us online, going in other black content creators who speaking against what Charlie Kirk was about, and threatening them in their DMs and calling them all kind of names. I mean, come on, guys. You guys call black people niggers. Like, that's the first thing you can think of. And at some point, it gets a little played out. Like, that has gotten to the point where it doesn't even trigger black people anymore, because we already know how you feel. We already know that the proper word for that is negus. If you look it up, Negus. So they want to try to use that and make it an insulting word, which to me it is a spell, because every time they use it, something happens to them. So pay attention. And when I mean every time every time they use it as a form of degrading towards black people, something happens to them. So you guys really probably need to stop using that word, because it is a spell. Now we want to get into who Tyler Robinson is. Who is Tyler Robinson? And please don't get Tyler Robinson mixed up with Tyler Perry, because those are totally two different people. Tyler Robinson, this is the man that is now identified as his killer, Charlie Kirk's killer. And he wasn't some radical leftist, as Peter Pumpkin Eater went online and started screaming this, and so was the alcoholic lady Nancy Mace, because something is really wrong with her. He was an extreme conservative, someone who lived and breathed the same toxic rhetoric that Kirk himself was known for. He wasn't an outsider to the movement. He was a product of it. He created that monster. He created it. So what he did, he created this monster, Charlie Kirk, and it's not just him. There's a lot of young white men, males out there that feels like Charlie, but it's probably worse. And because he is a part of this whole rhetoric, he wasn't an outsider to his movement. He was a product of it, and that's something America needs to sit with and understand. The violence we see so often comes from within, not from the scapegoats that we like to point to. That, not us, not when I say we, I'm saying we as white people. That they, so let me say that they like to point to. They like to scapegoat from the fact that it happened from within their circle, their group, like it happened in your family. So instead of holding these people accountable, then now they want to scapegoat the fact that it wasn't who they thought it was or prayed for it to be. So now they want to go and scapegoat it and put it on somebody of color, black, white, not white, black, Asian. Well, if they say white, that means they're Democrats. So black, white, Democrat, white, Asian, Latin, Mexican, Arab, anybody Muslim, anybody non-white, unless you're white and a Democrat. So they're going to put you a part of that too, because they're racist towards white Democrats. We need to sit down and really dig deep. And like I said in my last episode, we need to find out what is the issue here with white men in America, and this anger and this obsessive anger that they have. Republicans blame Democrats anyway. Anyway, even with the facts laid out, Republican leaders rush to the spin of this story, and then instead of acknowledging the truth, they blamed all the Democrats, hands down. Oh, the radical left, this is the Democrats, this is the Democrats. That Nancy Mace, that alcoholic looking lady who walk around in her pajamas, she goes around in her pajamas on camera, on the news, in the media, telling these people and telling the public, this is the Democrats and they have to stop this. Okay, come on, stop. This is the problem. If the leaders are going to spew hate, this is where it starts. They painted this act of violence as a part of some political conspiracy, and they're continuing to fuel more anger and more paranoia. And this is the problem. When facts don't matter, when leaders refuse accountability, hate just keeps multiplying, increasing, growing. Remember what I said, that when you nurture a hate seed, it is going to grow. Lies are powerful, honey. Don't be lying and saying things and thinking that you can lie and put it under the rug, especially when they serve to protect an agenda. Now, the threats against the black people, I'm getting ready to get into this. And here's where it gets dangerous. Charlie Kirk supporters, enraged by his death, they started threatening black folks. They started threatening black people who had nothing to do with this crime. I'm sorry for my sound effects, but I'm just so confused to why they're scapegoating the fact that it was one of their own within that did this. We had nothing to do with this crime at all. That's America in a nutshell. That is who they are. When tragedy strikes, somehow it gets pinned on black people all the time. We've seen it time and time and time and time again. Point blank, period. The reflective and the reflexive of the scapegoating, the misplaced rage, the misplaced anger, the generational health of hate. Because, like I say, this is mental. This is mental hate, and it never seems to die. Instead of asking hard questions about why one of their own people committed this violence, what was his motive and why he did it, the anger spills over into innocent people of color. And I'm not going to say innocent people of color, innocent black folks, us, blackity people, black, power to the people, black. Why is it always black? Please leave black people alone. White America's obsessive anger. What the hell is going on? So, once again, we have to ask, why are so many white Americans so consumed with hate, and mainly white men? Even when the facts are right in front of them. Why is it easier to threaten black lives than to face the truth about their own communities and people in it? Like, is it fear? I'm going to say that again. Is it fear? Is it insecurity? Or is it a refusal to admit that the systems they built are crumbling under the weight of their own violence? Because there's a lot of violence going on in that community. The media just don't show it. Whatever it is, it's a sickness. And I said this. It is a mental issue. Something is wrong. And until it's addressed, not ignored, not faced, not dealt with, not excused, not spun, America would never find peace. This place is going to destroy itself. And that's why I really say it's time for black people to bounce. It really is. It's really time for us to bounce. Because I think if we all left this place and just leave them here, they don't have anybody else to blame anything on or scapegoat. They're going to destroy each other. They're going to destroy each other, and they're going to destroy the country. So what does this teach us? This story of Charlie Kirk's death and Tyler Robinson's arrest right now is bigger than one incident. It shows us what happens when this whole rhetoric turns into rage, because that's basically what it is. Because there's videos going around from clips that Charlie Kirk has been just totally outrageous, totally obnoxious, calling the Asian people chinks, calling black women moronic, calling black men just every name in the book but the child of God, saying the civil rights movement or the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, said that MLK did not deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. They could have given that to somebody else. Talked about Juneteenth and said Juneteenth don't deserve a holiday. He's on his way to work. Like, what is happening? What's going on with him? But then I noticed, because like I said, I didn't follow him. But when I started seeing clips before he got killed, I started seeing clips of him talking about the Epstein files. So we really need to dig deep into what is the motive of this. And if the person they arrested, is he the scapegoat? Because he could be the scapegoat, and the person who really did it, or the people who really did it, is not the ones that we may not be ready to know who it is, because it's bigger. It could be bigger. So there's videos circulating where he was talking about they need to show the Epstein files because the American people need transparency. I don't want to say too much. That's what he mentioned, because some of these people, or he didn't say some, he said these people are my friends. And he gave this innocent smile, but then he said, but the American people need some transparency, so show the files. Think about it, America, white America. Think about it. Stop being so quick to scapegoat and start pointing fingers at other groups when you need to start figuring out who the hell did this. If this is the person that you guys idolize and that you guys look up to, you need to find out who really did it. And you need to start looking at the Republican Party and who represents the Republican Party and who is fueling the funding of the Republican Party. It is never going to stop, because if we can't tell the truth about where violence comes from, this is going to keep continuing, and it's going to spiral out of control. So I'm going to end on this note. I want you to sit with this, that hate doesn't just destroy us, it targets us. Hate is it's a four-letter word, but it's a heavy word. It destroys the hater as well, because with you having so much hate, it consumes you. And they don't even realize that hate really does destroy you. It can destroy you. If someone else doesn't, it's going to destroy yourself, because your insides, your organs, your health, all of that stuff is going to deteriorate because of the anger and everything that you're holding inside and everything that you're balling up. Your blood pressure, your heart rate, your blood flow, all of that stuff is affected. And America's obsession with guns, come on. I don't know if y'all think this is a movie, like that movie from back in the day called Wild Wild West. I don't know what's going on with you guys with it, with the fixation of guns and violence, with white rage. There's a video going around with a group of white men screaming, "White men fight back, white men fight back." Now, this was after they found out who did it. White men fight back. Who are they fighting back to? It's leading us down a road where no one is safe. No one. No Democrats, no Republicans, not black people, not white people, not Asian, not Latinos, not Muslims. Nobody. Nobody's safe. If we truly want change, again, we have to cleanse. We have to cleanse ourselves of hate. We have to cleanse ourselves from hate. So maybe I'll prepare a show to discuss how we need to cleanse ourselves from hate. And there's a lot of black people that have fueled themselves with hate because of the hate from white people. Because they fuel themselves with hate, black people have fueled themselves with hate just as much. And I'm telling you, that's what it does. It destroys us. We have to cleanse ourselves from hate. We have to cleanse ourselves of hate once and for all. We do. Well, thank you all for listening to Let's Talk About It with Sunny Mo. These are some very tough conversations, but they're the ones that we need to have. Until the next time, beautiful faces, stay aware, stay strong, keep your head on the swivel, and stay safe, and keep pushing for the truth. Have a sunny day.